if everybody has access to you, then you're doing something wrong. Is And that was hard for me to even fathom that thought, because I always thought like you should be there for everybody. You should, but at some point, you can only pour so much into another cup. But what happens when you're the cup that's empty and nobody is pouring back into you? Now those same cups that are full, when they come back to you and you're empty, what do you have to offer? You have nothing. So they go on to the next person and you're back at square one. I've been there before, and it's just you have that spirit and that heart of genuine, and I can see it on you. You're genuine, you're a loving person, you're caring, and you want to help, and you don't like feeling like you can't help everybody. I didn't like that feeling, but it's pray for me. Look, I'm telling you, this is gonna be a great message for all of us. This is gonna be a great message for all of us, because these are things that Abba wanted me to hear, that now I see this is my biggest struggle, that I know if I do, not even if, we're gonna eliminate if, but as I'm doing this, he's going to strengthen those areas, because these are things that I lack in, you know? Um, I'm gonna pray for everybody. We all going to pray together so we can elevate to be able to get to those levels in those areas to where it's not going to affect us as much as it is now. We're in a specific time of age to where being accessible and having access and attention and all of those things, we need to hone in and protect at all times, because the minute that we let our guard down, you you giving complete access to the enemy, you know. So with that being said, uh Daria, if you would like to bring up the slide and we could get in today's study. And I'm excited because this just confirmed everything for me. So, with that being said, we're going to talk about the act of faith. Now, as I'm starting this, I want this question rather to just stay in the back of everybody's mind as we're going through this. Is faith determined by what you do or what you know? When we say I have faith, I want to ask everybody this question, and there's no right or wrong question to this. I just want to hear everybody's answer, right? When you say I have faith in the Most High, I have faith that this will go through, I have faith in the Son, what does that sound like to you? What is your definition? If everybody could give me their definition.
Yeah. So yeah. First of all, what Yashim said was that's deep. I like that. But also, I second what Daya said. I believe that faith is belief, trust, and confidence. Because faith is essentially you have to believe. It's you have what they say, walk by faith, not by sight, right? So essentially, it's like having spiritual eyes. It's like being able to see what is not seen by the physical eye. And then also trust in regards to your specific question, when you say, do we have faith in the Most High? Do I trust him? Right? Because essentially, his ways are not our ways, his thoughts are not our thoughts, right? And he's going to have like his plan and what's going to happen. I may not understand it. I may not even see it, right? I may not even be aware of it. Then that's why I got to, that faith is me trusting in him, trusting that he has my best interest and that it's all going to work out for the best. And then confidence that you got to have anything that you put your faith in or your trust in or you believe in, you got to be confident about it. Right. So I believe that's the three words that come to my mind when I think about faith is belief, trust, and confidence.
Um, like I said, there's no right or wrong answer with this. We can't explain, you know, our faith. We know how it works. You see what I'm saying? Like we know how faith works. And with this, before I even jump into that, Duria, do you have anything to say, brother? I don't want to skip over you.
Well, I was trying to go last since I helped you put together psych. I don't want to give away answers, but I would say for me personally, without diving into your lesson, um, faith for me is that no matter what happens, it's the belief and trust that Yah has it for my greater good. So whether it becomes that I end up homeless, I have to have faith that Yah's going to provide at the end. That I'm going to be have is for my greater good. Whether I become a millionaire, I have to have faith and trust in Yah that it's going to be for my greater good. So it's regardless of what happens to me, good, bad, or indifferent, that it's trusting that Yah has it for my greater good.
Okay. Yeah, me and you, we're not gonna go too deep in. You kind of already knew my lesson yesterday when we was on the phone. So before I even shared anything, so we don't gotta deep dive too much. I just want to give a brief summary because I feel the same way, or rather felt the same way with faith. I felt the same way. Like it's a belief, it's a trust thing, you know. And when you think about the word faith, for me, it's more so a mind thing. You know, I think this and I believe it, right? But within doing, you know, sitting down and really sitting there with Yah and him breaking this down to me, he gave me a better understanding of what faith is. Okay, so this is Nanny Helen Burroughs. She was somebody who actually opened up. She was a African American who opened up a traditional school in Washington D.C. for females. So when I was looking up faith, I wanted to get like inspiring um quotes that actually resonated with me, and this one was powerful to me, and we'll see why as we go through the today's class. But just as love is a verb, so is faith. Based off of the first quote, we can see how Abba is showing us how faith isn't just a thought or a mind thing, right? So it's starting to sound like, you know, it has to be some action to it, right? And that's why I chose that, because that was the first time I ever heard anything like that anyway. Where, you know, it's showing that faith is a verb. And I know learning in school, you know, verbs, there's action to it. It means action. You're doing something, you know? So that was the Most High just giving me the breadcrumbs on where to take this. Right here, we have Dr. King. Faith is taking the step even when you can't see the whole staircase.
Allegiance to duty. Allegiance to duty are a person, loyalty, belief and trust in and loyalty to Yah, something that is believed, especially with strong conviction.
Izzy, my good brother, you have the next two slides, my friend. Go ahead and enlighten us, please.
Time to go down that rabbit hole.
Right. Imuna. So that's says the Hebrew pronunciation. So as you can see the Hebrew lettering there, I believe that's the word, the Hebrew word for faith. Understanding imuna comes from the origin or root word aman, which means to confirm, support, believe, trust, be faithful, to build up, to foster, nurse, firm, faithful, to be true, certain. Action.
Okay, so you basically jumped to the you jumped to go with that one. But so those words, the reason why I put action there is when you listen to all of those words, those are all action words. So that this word faith and this definition, to confirm something, it's an action. When you support something, it's an action. when you believe, trust, be faithful, to build up, to foster, nurse, firm, faithful, to be true, and to be certain. Those are all action words. So when we say we have faith in the Most High, and we have faith that this is going to happen, when we have faith, when faith is there, there's some sort of action that is required for us to, confirm these things, to support these things, to believe these things, to trust these things, so on and so forth. And I put James 2:26, the TS 2009, at the bottom. For as the body without the spirit is dead, so also the belief. You see the word belief is dead without works as well.
I'll read it. Faith requires trust, which leads to obedience, that eventually leads to action. By faith, Abraham obeyed when he was called to go out to a place that he was to receive an inheritance, and he went out not knowing where he was going. That's Hebrews 11:8.
All praises. So with us officially we're going to jump into some scriptures that shows us what faith truly is. With this slide right here, it's telling us how faith really works. So the action is we trust, which leads to obedience, which is, another action that requires and that eventually leads to action. So this right here, Abraham had faith because he obeyed. He obeyed. It wasn't just because Abraham had faith and that was it. No, he obeyed, and Abba told him to do something. And that action was him going somewhere that Abba sent him. That's how we show the Most High we have faith. Our actions are going to show that we have faith, not just because we believe, we have this thought, or I know, or I feel, or no, our actions have to match that belief. Our obedience have to match that belief. And with those two right there, that will show that we have faith. So, Daria, if you don't mind going to that next slide. So this right here is act. I'm going to now show the different type of actions that are required to show our faith. Thank you, Daria. He said he'll read Romans. And Izzy said he'll read Matthew. I appreciate you. So the first thing is you have act in faith. Now, James, I'm going to read James 1, 22 through 25. This is how we act in faith. Obey the word of Yah. If you hear only and do not act, you are only fooling yourself. Anyone who hears the word of Yah and does not obey it is like a man looking at his face in a mirror. After he sees himself and goes away, he forgets what he looks like. But the one who keeps looking into Yah's perfect law and does not forget it will do what he says and will be happy as he does it. Yah's word makes men free.
If you sin without knowing what you're doing, Yah takes that into account. But if you sin knowing full well what you're doing, that's a different story entirely. Merely hearing Yah's law is a waste of your time if you don't do what he commands. Doing, not hearing, is what makes the difference with Yah.
Matthew 7, 24 to 27. It says, whoever hears these words of mine and does them will be like a wise man who built his house on rock. The rain came down, the water came up, the wind blew and hit the house. The house did not fall because it was built on rock. Whoever hears these words of mine and does not do them will be like a foolish man who built his house on sand. The rain came down and the water came up, the wind blew and hit the house. The house fell and broke apart.
Ezekiel 36, 26 through 27. And I will give you a new heart, and a new spirit I will put within you, and I will remove the heart of stone from your flesh and give you a heart of flesh, and I will put my spirit within you and cause you to walk in my statutes and be careful to obey my rules. We're faithful to, things that we want to do. We need to be faithful to the things that he needs us to do in order for us to get to what we want to do. If I know, all right, I go to the gym and I want a certain body, and I also want to do this for the Most High, he's not going to meet me or place me where he needs me to be if I'm not doing what he wants me to do at all whatsoever. So at some point, I'm wasting his time. He's not wasting my time. I'm wasting his time. He's blessing me with, I got the car to go to the gym. I got the car to go to, to go play ball. I got all of these resources and things to be accessible, but only to my selfish desires. That's why he tells us we need to sacrifice ourselves so we can fulfill things for him, so he can do the greatness in us. But we have to be willing to give up those good habits and those bad habits as well. So if you could, you want to go back to the slide, Doc, and then we could go back. I think we was on Proverbs.
All right, this is Proverbs 3:5-6 in an NLV version. Trust in Elohim with all your heart and do not trust in your own understanding. Agree with him in all your ways and he will make your path straight.
So then we could go to Deuteronomy, Yashin, if you're ready.
You shall walk after Yah, your Elohim, and fear him, and keep his commandments, and obey his voice, and you shall serve him and hold fast to him.
I see your hand up, Izzy.
When we're reading Deuteronomy, and it says, you shall walk after Yah, your Elohim, in fear, honor, respect, and keep his commandments and obey his voice. And for us that has a organic love for our Creator, we're reading, the way it hits our ears is different than the way that it may hit a new believer or non-believer's ears. And what I mean by that is somebody that's growing in their journey of truly actually following the commands because they love the Most High, it may need to be delivered an additional way. And I believe that it connects. So now I'm gonna connect Proverbs 3:5 when it says, "Trust in Yahuwah with all your heart. Do not trust in your own understanding. Agree with him in all your ways, and he will make your path straight." So being able to show the benefit of us following the Most High in his ways, right? Because a lot of if life is crooked, right, we could trace that right back to okay, I must not be in alignment with my Creator, right? Because when I'm in alignment with him, when I'm obeying his commands and I'm keeping his ways, I'm trusting in him, I'm not leaning on my own understanding, like they always saying, then he literally makes my path straight, right? So like showing people that's growing in their love for the Most High that it's a benefit, not just like the Most High is this narcissist that's just like, obey me because I said so, right? It's like it's like, I mean, yes, but at the same time, it's like, it's a benefit, right? It's he's saying that he's coming from the energy of, I know what's best for you. Right? So he's saying it in a way that I'm the manufacturer, you're manufactured. You're not going to be able to function properly if you go your own way, if you go by your own understanding. You don't know how to fully function because you didn't create yourself. So that's why you should walk after me. This is why you should respect me. And when I say respect and honor me, because you will never obey somebody that you don't honor and respect. So the only way that you're going to have the energy to obey my commands is if you look at me a certain way. So that's why I need you to honor and respect me. So then it's going to give you the energy to obey my commands. And in that action of faith is going to allow your path to be straight. So I just wanted to just highlight that because that's a way. Remember, we're spiritual translators. So as we're helping others grow, right? And in their journey with the Most High, a lot of people you start off like, okay, I'm doing this because it's right. Like I have to understand that it's right. But that's in the beginning stages. Then the deeper that you get in your relationship with the Most High, it's like, I'm doing this because I love him. It's like I want to please the Father because I love him. I'm not just doing this because I'm scared that he's gonna whip my tail or I'm gonna go to hell or something like that. Right? You know, and that's a lot of that's when we go more into the religion, is because like we're trying to do things only to not get a consequence instead of doing things out of love. So I just wanted to highlight that.
That was a great breakdown. I appreciate you breaking that down. Just to give that better understanding that that's how our Father is. You know, it's nothing to, you know, be like, oh, I'm scared, or no, it's all love, mercy, and grace. But he's just giving us how can I the proper care to build us up. Like a father giving his child the best interest at heart for them. You know, our Father will never lead us astray. If he's saying, look, come down this way, for I am down this way. If your father's down there, you know, your father's not going to lead you off no cliff. He's not going to lead you to no train track, off of no building. If he's saying, hey, look, I got everything you could possibly imagine, it greater than, you know, what's here on his earth, you know, just follow me. I just need you to do X, Y, and Z. That shouldn't be that hard at all. That's the faith. He's having faith in you, and it's showing us right here. If our Father is telling us, hey, come down this way, he has faith for us, but we need to share that same faith. He can't have faith in us and we not have faith in him. We got to meet in the middle. I seen you had your hand up.
I wanted to touch on that the scripture that was, it was Proverbs, the one I read. In other translations, it says he'll make your path straight, but the translation that I like is he'll direct your path. I think that's like more of a good way for someone who's not a believer that's looking to follow y'all. Like he will direct you, you know, and if you're like, it's a different path. I would just say that it's definitely a different, it will make sense. It won't be like you're gonna come against different tests and trials, just that's life. But when it comes down to the peace that you get in your walk and as he's directing your path, it will just make sense. Like you will be in your purpose. It's a different type of feeling. So I just wanted to
No, that was beautiful. Beautiful. I can't disagree with anything that you said at all. Like and I'm trying to remember the exact scripture to where the Mashiach had told them, you know, because they asked him like, who will be the greatest in the kingdom? And he tells them like, you know, for you to make it into the king, you have to be as an infant, you know, be as an infant, because those are the greatest ones in the kingdom, you know. So he's telling us we have to be like children. That's how the Most High looks at us. He's telling us, you know, I will take care of all your wants and needs if you go just be a child. That's why we got to pray and ask for that armor before we leave out of that door. Like when we leave our door, we know like we're protected because this is our, you know, this is our safe haven. Deya says so true. Absolutely. You know, it's so easy to be led astray. It's so easy to get manipulated and to be tempted and deal with temptation because everything that it just looks good. It just looks good. But we got to ask for protection and to put on that armor because we wrestle with, you know, evil things, principalities and high and dark places that we don't see it in the spiritual. We don't see it. So we don't know what's to come when we go out of our, we leave out of our house. We don't know what the enemy is trying to. You might wake up, you done said the best prayer of your life, you feeling like you on cloud nine, you look good and all of this. You like, man, nothing can ruin this day. As soon as you go out and your car got about 3 flats and your window bust, there go the enemy. So is you gonna let, your action shift the way you feel, or are you still going to just act in faith and just pray and still give glory to the Most High? Because the minute that we sit here and we see something going wrong, the thing that we normalized is we are so quick to give the enemy, we're so quick to give him that. Like, ah, man, the devil did it today. You give the enemy glory before you give Abba the glory. Like, oh man, Abba, I see what's going on here, but I rebuke that. I know you still gonna take care of me. I know you still gonna take care of me. This ain't nothing. This is just a minor setback. But we are so like prone to just give all things to the enemy, and he loves that. But you see how in the same breath that we do that, when you speak that out your mouth, that's your faith going to the enemy. You already given him your faith. You better fix your lips and still give all praises and glory to the Most High. Because you don't know, that could also be a test. It could also be a test from the Most High. But it's up to us to have that discernment and understand which is which. But just know that the Most High don't tempt you. That's the only thing. He don't come in temptation. But if you could pull up that last slide, I just want to leave everybody with this last question. Ask yourself, do people around you see your faith in action? And think about that. Think about everything that we talked about. Think about the attributes of faith, the side of faith, the act of, how to act in, how to walk in, what the lack of faith is. And ask yourself, do people around you see your faith in action? When people come, do they see your faith in the Most High, or do they see the faith in the enemy? Do they see the faith in the kingdom, or do they see the faith in the world? These are things you got to ask yourself. And if you're unsure, examine yourself. Examine your spirit. Check in with the Most High. Check in with your loved ones. If you need to, do it. We are here to help each other out. I want to like really humble myself for the Most High, to where like it's not about just speaking, and that's what he showed me with this. Like, I'm doing good, but good ain't good enough. And that's where I'm at with it, where it's like when I walk into the room, like you feel his spirit, like how the Pharaoh had seen Joseph and he knew that like, oh, the spirit of the Most High is on him. Like he's seen it. That's what I want people to see when they see me. Like, don't see me as me. See the spirit of the Most High on me. And I know also too, just doing, inventory within myself. There's some things that I need to work on, but I definitely need to work on my actions more. I need to act in faith more. That was one thing that really was put on my heart. Like, yeah, I know the word and I'm doing this and doing that, but you need to step it up a little more, a lot more. But out of love, when he corrects you, it's out of love, it's never because he's upset with you or better. He's a parent. When he corrects you, he's gonna correct you, but it's out of love, because he doesn't want to lose any of us. We are precious. We are so precious to him. Like, I can't even I can't even explain how, like, you can't put it into words, because like his love is wonders. Like it's so much love. And I don't want to take that for granted.